Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be finally talking about this. This is the Ghost Note Audio Vader 140. It is a preamp clone of the Ampeg VH SS 140, 150, Crate GX130C, GX600, etc., etc. The famous death metal amp that a lot of the 480 guys use. It's a clone of this preamp, for better or worse. Just like the Ghost Note Audio ICBM to the Randall Warhead X2, is it an exact one-to-one sounding clone? No. Long story short, this has less gain and less low end, but this captures the essence of it really, really well, which you'll hear in a second here. I'm actually going to be professionally miking it up and running it through here, as long as with the POV view you see from my glasses. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be starting off with the Ampeg VH140C. I'm going to be using this 1994 Gibson SG All-American 1. That's a mouthful and a half. It just has a singular Gibson, I think 498, 500T, somewhere around there. It's their high output passive pickup. Really good sounding. It's got some good low end to it. So, really quick, I'm going to set all the settings here on the 140 to noon or 5. We'll go from there. Now, I will say right off the bat that this amp has so much low end to the point where I thought actually something was wrong with the amp at first, and I first fired it up for a long time. But I think it's more so just because I'm used to like my mazes right now and then a preamp pedal. But all that being said, here's how it sounds like. Just nothing boost in the front, nothing in the loop besides noise gate, and guitar to amp. Everything at noon. Now let me dial it in really quick. So as you can hear there, that's so much low end, that's just the low end on 6. Now, to kind of remedy it, I bring the mids up a lot. Bring that back a little. Now this is pretty close to where the pedal sounds with different settings, as you'll hear in a minute. But this is kind of what I consider a dialed in tone without a boost. Alright, now let's boost. I'm going to be using my Maxon OD808. It's just a stock one I got off eBay like a decade or so ago. It's probably one of the, if not the best sounding overdrive I've ever had. Now, something that I actually like to do on the VH140 is I run the input on the low setting, because it kind of just tightens it up. Not like Tube Screamer tightens up, but tightens it up enough where the overdrive doesn't feel like it's kind of getting flubbed out. It's still very low and heavy, but it's not flubbing out as much as it would be if it was on the high settings. We'll hear in a second. It's more focused sounding, the distortion. That's where I'm trying to go for. It sounds way more focused, in my opinion. Just overall better. And for fun, really quick here, let's just go with the maxed out extreme settings on this thing. Keep the mids high though, just because. So still with the Tube Screamer in front. Alright, now we'll switch over to the Vader 140. So, Valdemir, really big shout out to him again, sent me this pedal for absolutely free and just said, hey, do an honest review on it, so that is my intention. I cannot remember what the knobs do and which voicings I switch to. I just know that this adds a little more high-end, and then this adds a little more of a mid-boost. So, in my opinion, these two settings sound the closest to this. It has a lot more low-end retention, but still has a lot of high-end sizzle. But yeah, long story short, not as much gain, not as much bass, but this is a lot tighter, more focused sounding, and I kind of prefer how it sounds to how this is dialed in right now. But you can get this to sound like this just by scooping the low end almost entirely. But yeah, this is the 140 going through the VH140C's preamp, and then mic'd up, all this fun stuff. Same signal chain, right now no boost, everything on new. Here you go. I'm going to try and dial it into where this sounds like this with those settings, but again, it's just, this is so low and heavy, it's ridiculous. Kind of, not unusable, just tubby. It's just tubby, for lack of a better word. So let me try that. See if this sounds any similar. Yeah, it sounds a little bit closer, but doesn't necessarily sound better. So let me dial this back in where I like it. Yeah, that's better. Alright, now boost time. This is where they really start sounding similar because, well, you know, it's a boost. So. yeah, so in conclusion, how would I rate this pedal? I love how this pedal sounds. This is my favorite so far of the two preamp pedals that I've gotten from Voldemir, and it absolutely crushes that Soldano preamp pedal I have. Again, as you can hear, just nowhere as much bottom end as this does. You can get it sounding kind of closer-ish if you really scoop the mids and just push the bass forward, but I love how this pedal sounds as it is. It's a lot more bright forward, more crunchy, more aggressive sounding. To my ear, it sounds kind of like a happy medium between my VH140 and the GX130C I had, just, again, with a little bit less gain overall. But overall, if you want the VH140 sound and you don't mind, you know, throwing a boost onto it, this is going to get you very, very, very close. And I really do like how you can switch between the settings. Again, this is just how I prefer to have it. But yeah, let me dial it in a little bit more too. Just go to the full all-out crazy settings here to kind of end us off. Yeah, thanks for watching. Once again, a very big shout out to Voldemir for sending this to me and sending me a replacement one too when the other one got damaged in shipping. I really love the pedal. I'm happy with it. I use it much more than I do the old VH140C at this point, so yeah, have a good one.